The Parent Trap is such a fabulous film, and it occurred to me that I've never reviewed this. I did in 2010, maybe 2011, do a comparison between the original and the remake, and while the video isn't very good, it still gets views, so I'm going to keep it up. But I decided this was the perfect opportunity to rewatch the film for the first time in a long time and give it a better, well, hopefully better, but certainly more detailed discussion. And I'm pleased to say it was just as delightful as I remembered it. It's such a brilliant film. And if you're unaware, The Parent Trap is a Disney film from 1961. It's directed by David Swift, written by Swift, based on a novel by Erich Kästner. I was going to try and pronounce it, but I would completely ruin it. But it's based on a novel, and we have a cast including, of course, Hayley Mills as Susan and Sharon. And Susan and Sharon are both at camp, and they're strangers. They've never met, but they look very, very similar. Given the fact that they're both played by Hayley Mills, that should come as no surprise. And they both realise, and I won't say how they realise this, but it's quite cleverly written, they both realise that they're sisters. And something must have happened to separate them at birth or when they were very young. And the film is about them considering what could have happened and also realising that they could switch places. And one of them has much longer hair, so they cut her hair so they look identical. And they decide to switch places so one of them can meet their father and one of them can meet their mother because they live with each parent. And of course, the big question is, how long can they keep up pretenses? Will the parents ever find out? And I'm not going to answer any of those questions, of course, but it's such a fun story. It's quite emotional as well, because here we have two girls, first of all, who have been separated. I absolutely do not agree with separating twins. Not that I'm an expert or a psychologist or anything like that, but I feel like that's going to have some damage. But either way, we have these twins who are separated and only living with one of their parents. So it's quite emotional. There's definitely an emotional aspect. But I'd say for the most part, it's a fun film. It's quite high energy. There's a lot of emotion in this. The soundtrack is just a joy. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. And I can't fault it. Well, no, that's not true. I will say that the final third is quite slow. And I feel like, for me, the final third focuses a bit more on the adults. And for me, watching it as an adult, I found it to be just a little slow. So I wonder if, as a child, I really just did not care for the final third, because obviously when you're younger, you can't really connect to the adult protagonists. Those are generally not as interesting. There's a reason why most children's films have children as protagonists. I can't remember. I have no idea if that's how I thought, but certainly as an adult, I didn't find it to be that interesting. So the final third, I think, needed a little bit of work. But that being said, it's a very successful, very popular film. It has 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb across only 25,000 reviews and ratings, which in general is a large pool of opinions. But for a film of this age and with this success, it's a very, very popular, very nostalgic film as well. I was quite surprised by that. By comparison, the Lindsay Lohan one from the 90s has 165,000 reviews and ratings, but an overall score of 6.7. So more opinions, but a slightly lower rating. And I will be rewatching and reviewing that one in due course as well. But this one will always have a special place in my heart because I did watch it as a child. Not many, many times. It's not a film that I had on constantly, but certainly I'd seen it a good few times, and just the rush of nostalgia I got from this. But even without the nostalgia, I still think it's a great film, a really good story. Hayley Mills gives an absolutely brilliant performance as both Sharon and Susan. I think she did a really, really wonderful job with this. And I've just realised it was nominated for 2 Oscars. It was nominated for Best Sound, no surprise there, and Best Film Editing as well, which, yeah, the editing's absolutely fine. So I have no complaints about this. And in addition, apart from the final third being a little slower and maybe not that interesting compared with the rest of the film, I think The Parent Trap is fantastic. The pacing is otherwise really good. The characters are brilliant. Hayley Mills was just fabulous in this. The music is great. The variety in the emotions is fabulous. It's perfect. Almost perfect. I really loved it, and I'm really glad that I had a reason to revisit this. I will be watching Parent Trap 2 and 3. Is there a 4th one? There were a couple of more, and I don't know if I've seen them. I genuinely have no recollection of the other ones, so I might be watching them for the first time. Maybe it'll jog my memory, but either way, I'm really looking forward to watching those. And for now, I'm pleased to say that I had an excuse to watch the 1961 Parent Trap again because it's a delightful story. The performances are amazing. It's so much fun, but with some much deeper, more meaningful, heartfelt moments as well to give it just a bit more balance. It's amazing. Do I recommend it? Without question. If you've seen the Lindsay Lohan one and liked it, you'll absolutely love this. If you haven't seen that one, my advice would be to watch both of them if you like the concept, but do watch the 61 one first. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's maybe worth watching this one first because it's an absolute joy. I love it. Very happy to have had a reason to see it again. And of course, I thoroughly recommend it.